She's an all-round fantastic girl. And she is here. We are a fly on the wall in her life. Hi, Samantha. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's do that again.
All right.
Oh, okay. I can find you. Okay, I found you now.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Iyati. Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. You are glowing.
Am I really?
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
Mm-hmm,
That means a lot.
Let's start with your craziest childhood memory. What kind of a child were you?
Wow. Really?
Yes.
My craziest childhood memory. I've always been out there, you know. I've always been an extrovert from a very young age.
Really?
So I think my craziest would be just, I grew up in Sunridge, and it was just so much fun just roaming around those streets and coming home kuma 6 trying to figure out kuti ndopinda mbase because mom's namdarwa for basa, and you know, you're like the life of the party, you and your friends mamshitamba raka raka. And I think back then our streets were so safe, taitamba raka raka nedu no road, and life was just good. I think that's the craziest, the funnest actually. Maybe it's not too crazy, but just being that and just enjoying the company of other children. And actually, I think I had a very healthy childhood.
I like that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's something that I always look back and think, oh, I don't mind going back to then.
And now, as a mother, how would you compare the way you were raised and the way you're raising your children?
Oh wow. It's different, I think.
In what
As
way?
I said, I think our parents, in terms of vana kubuda kwenda kunofara kunotamba kuma next door, it was safer. It felt safer. Our streets felt safer then. Now, just even the thought, I feel for my kids sometimes because Paoli de Mumba, and they don't really go out to play as much as I used to. I think especially for my younger girl. My son is like me, he's an extrovert, so he finds his way out to his friends somehow, some way. But most of the time, especially when I'm there, I try and be I'm more protective. Like, I'm saying, my next door, you know. So that's different. I don't know if it's a good different or a bad different, but of course times have changed. I mean, you just can't let them go as much.
Have things changed, or it's just you and your fears? Do you think you're just overprotective to some extent?
Yeah, it could be. I'm overprotective, but even for the younger ones, just I don't know. Maybe I'm paranoid or something. I don't know. I'm paranoid.
Oh, okay. Somebody knows you.
Oh,
look, it's your sister actually.
Oh,
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
Thank you.
I needed this because that would be my PR vision. And her craziest is imitating Manans at St. John's High School with her friends. She was naughty.
Oh yes, I went to St. John's actually, St. John's Emerald Hill, and as you know, a lot of celebrities, a lot of known people came from that school, especially from our era.
Yeah.
And I was Mudrama class. I was a model as well. I was busy. I was such a busybody. As I said, I'm an extrovert. So yeah, we had a dance that we did with my friend, and we were wearing my Mbedzema nuns and we were dancing to Ashes. Yeah. And everyone was so shocked how we pulled that, because you know how nuns are. They're not into all these crazy stuff that students do. So yeah, but that's actually crazy. Yeah, my sister knows me. She really does.
Being an artsy student, an extrovert, all these activities that you've mentioned, how did that affect your academic work, or how did you balance the two?
It affected my academics. it did. It did. I was not as academic as I could have been, because I was always really busy, because my sports, you are the life of the party, really, and so it really kind of affected. I wasn't as serious as I should have been, but to the extent that even when I then decided to do my degree program, media studies, I hadn't thought about what to do.
Okay.
It's only my mother who was like, you're going to do this, obvious. I was like, no, sure, mama. And that's how it went by, because I was always, either drama club or my sports. I was always surrounded by people having fun. So yeah, that's pretty much
21 minutes before we get to 3 o'clock. Fly on the wall, as always, on a Sunday afternoon. I'm a fly on the wall. We are a fly on the wall today in the life of Samantha Rusare. We are live on Facebook, Star FM. That's the page. So come through and check us out. Thank you so much for joining us. I see your questions. I see your love for Samantha. People who remember you from radio.
Oh, yes.
Saying, oh, it's nice to see her in the picture. And then this question, if I had my way, I would avoid it, but it always comes up. I want to know how you feel about it, and whether you're going to answer it or not. I wouldn't.
Right.
It's a pet Mac from Chinhoy. Hi, Iyati. Is she married?
Oh, yes, I'm very married. I'm happily married. So very married.
Tell us about being happily married.
Well, it's happy. It's got moments where you're like, oh, okay. But most moments are happy, Yeah. You've got moments where you're like, oh, I miss being younger and not having as much of a responsibility of being a wife, because being a wife is a responsibility. Unlike, set aside being a mother, being a wife is also, you've got this person's responsibility, it's yours. So it comes with responsibility. So you have moments where it can be overwhelming, but overally it's happy. You have someone you literally see yourself spending your whole life with, growing old with, and that's something to celebrate.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. How long have you been married?
We're turning 6 in December.
Which is more enjoyable or less difficult, being a mother or being a wife?
They're both, I would want, okay, they have moments, it has moments. Sometimes being a mother is so easy, because you're like, you belong to me, you're mine, you're my kids, so I can pretty much control everything you do, whereby being married, you can't control someone, they can't control you. They have a life as well. They're an individual as well, and you're an individual as well. So sometimes maybe I could say being a wife can be difficult, especially early years, where you're trying to understand each other. You're coming from different backgrounds. So sometimes it can be very difficult, because you want him to do what you want or how you think this relationship is supposed to work, and then he's got his own ideology. So then merging that, but as you grow together, as you as you get to know each other, and you realize that we're just putting so much energy on what's not important. Let's focus on just living and enjoying each other. Yeah.
They say it's after this first 7 years that the marriage begins.
Yes, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. But it has been a beautiful journey. I can't see myself anywhere else. Yeah.
How did you know that he was the one? Okay.
How did I? So I met him at work. He was my boss, like one of my big bosses. In my previous life of work, as best friend. And how I knew was, unlike other people that you date, he was really consistent, and I enjoyed being around him and giving myself to him more than I did maybe other people I dated.
Okay.
So I could see I'm giving myself.
What was that one thing? What set him apart? Or
he's
the decider for you?
I think
it's consistent in what?
He was just in everything. In in those little things, guys.
Oh,
I know.
Good morning, I wear every morning before 10
think,
o'clock.
I think we really think it's something big, but it's the small things. I think men that they just don't get it. It's the small things that really we enjoy as women, and that make us think, oh, you're set apart to be the one. Because he would be consistent. He was consistent in my good morning, and he just knew when I needed something, he will always be there. And even up till now, we're married 6 years later. I met him in 2015. He's consistent. If I need something young with he will make sure Kuti, he has provided for that need. And it actually he makes me want to be like that, because I'm not as consistent sometimes in my relationships, even with friends, as a daughter, as a sister, and even as a wife. I feel maybe I actually learn a lot from him to say,
Nice.
you know what, even if there's nothing much to give, there's a little thing that's there. You just need to give yourself and to always be consistent with.
What's your top love language?
My love language is time. Spending time.
Quality time.
And I think in as much as mine is quality time, his is not.
What's his?
His is gifts and work, like what's that, working, like doing things for you.
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
Yeah.
So his is acts of service and gifts. Gifts. He's a gifter, and I am more quality time and physical touch, whereby if you don't sleep cuddling me, I'm like, is it okay? Are we okay? Is there a problem?
Okay.
And but quality time is.
You're such a girly girl.
I am.
When have you ever been most out of your comfort zone? When have you been stretched out of this girly girl, Samantha, the pretty one, the laughing one, the loved one, the cuddled one?
Work, obviously. I think stretched out of that is work. Before I was with the Zim Papers group at ZTN, I used to work somewhere else, and I used to do more PR, marketing, sales. So I used to get stretched a lot, and you'd have to push yourself and so much more than maybe other presenters or radio presenters, because I was working as a presenter and as a marketer. So unlike your workmates who are always looking pretty and dressed up, and there were moments where I had to put in the hard work. I had to be in overalls working, and of course in marriage, you don't, I know so you have moments where you have to put on that regalia of Murora and work and be that woman. So yeah.
Let's go back to motherhood. What kind of a mother would you say you are? Obviously in comparison to your mother, but we won't say it.
My mother is a way better mother than me. I think I've got a lot to learn from her. I'm a protective mom. I am very strict. I am.
Really?
I am very strict.
Do you sometimes go into your closet and beat yourself and kick yourself like, Samantha, just relax?
Yes, I do. I am. I'm very strict. I'm very, especially with my son. I feel for him. He's 14 now, and I have this thing of, Emmanuel, even phones and social media, I'm very skeptical. I'm very strict about it. So I'm very strict. I do not. I sometimes whoop them, into shape.
Okay. What kind of instances drive you to that? Okay, when was the last time you hit your children? What had happened?
Well, yesterday I know I had an attempt with my 5-year-old, but mostly I'm scared that I don't want my kids to grow up very stubborn, I don't want them to grow up being spoiled brats, because I've seen how people who grew up as spoiled brats turned out to be.
Do they respond well to the rod, or
The 5-year-old is it's difficult, but the 14-year-old, he responds well, and he's become a very amazing gentleman.
Oh, well done.
I'm very proud of him.
My Juju is here. She says, "Hi Samantha, I resonate already. Some fears for young children, same fears for young children, but sometimes you need to let them loose a little bit. You need to loosen up, and they become streetwise when you let them be."
Okay.
I agree there.
Thank you for that.
University. Okay, I don't know why she picked university, but I guess it's important to be streetwise everywhere you go. She says, "I like you."
Oh, thank you,
My
my
Juju.
Juju. Thank you for the advice.
Yeah,
I
so
need that.
anzi masvingo kunobva varume kwavo ndizvo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Asi kunobva varume kwavo.
Varume
masvingo anochengeta.
Really?
Vane rudo.
Ndakanzwa zvichinzi anzi the opposite side kuti anzi kuroora mwanasikana kumasvingo. Anzi vanodhurisa ngo vada kuplaster grade Zimbabwe. So it's nice that you're coming with this balance.
Experience that.
All right, it's 10 minutes before we get to 3 o'clock, having a beautiful, glorious time in the studio with Samantha Rusare, your ZTN News Anchor, as a fly on the wall. She's just so beautiful. You just want to keep looking at her and talking to her. As a TV person, we spoke about this off air, how TV is so demanding from my view, from my radio view. You're in front of the camera, you have to look put together. People ask us this question, but I don't think it applies to us radio presenters as much as it does to TV anchors. Being in people's faces, and TV is also in your face. The TV production, the lights, the crew, it's so in your face. And people, I know for a fact that when I was younger, in the TV, there's something about TV stars. And when you're younger, you're very impressionable. When you look at someone on TV, you think they are perfect. You assume they are perfect because, the makeup is flawless, the reading is flawless, we put you on a pedestal when you're on TV. Have you felt the pressure of being on TV and people looking at you and thinking you've got it all together?
I think that pressure has been just overly being in media, and maybe you've, to some extent, Iyati, I'm sure you feel that way as well. People just already look at you like they expect life to be amazing and to be perfect and for you to be a perfect person. TV makes it worse, I guess, because you do. You look perfect. You look beautiful. Makeup, people will judge you. What a
letdown.
I'm just like anyone else, and sometimes people think that maybe expect you to have such a bougie lifestyle.
Yes.
But we literally live the same lifestyle as everyone, especially in Zimbabwe. I'm sure in other countries, our neighbors in South Africa and other countries, maybe they will be more bougie or whatever. But we're literally just like your girl next door. And
you do have that girl next door vibe, but you also have the star quality. What would you say is the most ordinary thing that you experience? Like what grounds you? What makes you so Sama?
I think my personality. I'm not. Now I feel like I'm beating my own drum, but I can't do. Oh, I'm a celebrity. Oh, I'm walking in town. Everyone should look at me. Oh my God, I can't.
You've maintained the common touch.
I can't. I think it's. I could never be that person, and I love being around women and of any social whatever angavawe kupi ndinokwanisa kuklika naye tinokwanisa kutaura. I know kuti angava security from work, kune the lady who cleans, we have something in common. I always find something in common with everyone, and I've always told myself you learn from everyone. So I think that's a quality I'm proud of myself to have. And and that's what makes everyone maybe feel it's not that whole TV is just work. This is just someone we can relate to.
Well, there's clearly a special cargo on the way. There's a bun in the oven. Is that why you've been off our screens?
Oh yeah, you won't be seeing me for a while.
So is it like that in TV? You get pregnant and like you're not good enough? Like
no, it's just a lot of work. I remember my boss Nom Sankala was so excited. She's like, "Oh my god, she's going to be coming out on TV pregnant! That's so cool!" Like she's like our boss, and so she was excited about that, and even our editors and stuff. But they started to seeing like the toll it had. They could see that this person is not as comfortable now. So eventually they will tell you, do the small things or go home and rest. Bye. Cut. We're done. We'll see you in 3 months. But overall, my bosses were so excited to actually, say, "Oh, we're gonna have an anchor who's expecting." So
nice. You were telling me off air because it's so hot. I mean, we've all been talking about the unbearably high temperatures and how it's affecting you, particularly now that you're expecting. Tell us about that.
I have moments where I cry.
Like,
I just want to go back to normal. I just want to sleep normally. I just want to I just want my normal life back.
What baby number is this?
It's baby number 3.
Would you say expecting, being pregnant with your first was easier or harder than now?
I actually been talking about it with my friends and my colleagues who are around the same age as me, and we're saying it's so much wiser, I think, to just do it. Go on. Unfortunately, the economy does not allow us. But if it's possible, I want 23, 24, 5 of our kids, you'll be so much, as you get older, it gets.
But isn't it easier when you know what to expect? When now you can roll with the punches, like
Nope. For me, it hasn't. It hasn't been easy.
Was it more exciting the first time than now?
Yeah, I think the first time was more exciting, and I don't know. I had so much more energy. Now it's just mostly about the energy. I just don't have the energy anymore.
In your family with your siblings, what number are you?
Of course, I'm a middle child. I'm a middle child.
Oh, really?
We're 3 and I'm the second.
Oh, interesting. Because I was going to ask you particularly, I went somewhere and I was observing someone with 4 kids, and I thought their third was really suffering middle child syndrome. I wanted to take them home and hug them and just give them single child space. I just wanted to give the child attention. My heart really went out.
But you'd be worried, but we're usually okay. We just learn from a very young age to fend for ourselves and take care of our feelings.
So how are you preparing for that eventuality yourself when the third eventually arrives? Have you got any strategies? Have you thought about it?
No.
How are you going to, or you roll with the punches?
I'll just roll with the punches. I will just roll. I've noticed even with my siblings, Kuti, the first child, and my qualities ake, my advantages ake, and my disadvantage ake, but mostly the advantages is what we look at. And for my sister, you see how she's managed to be this proper deputy parent, like proper, amazing. So I'm hoping that for my kids as well. And then the second one, me, I am a middle child. I have my disadvantages, but being a middle child, and it has taught me to be, self-sufficient from a very young age, and to be socially equipped. I can literally get into any space and I'm fine.
Nice.
I don't think my parents would be worried, so I'm hoping that for my kids as well.
Samantha, I love your hair, says my D. She's in Glenview. That's exactly the kind of mama I am to my son. Hi Samantha, this is Bongi. She's in Blawayo. Sweet voice, says my bam nini mapranga omwe. I Iyati, that's a strong woman, that one.
Oh.
Send my regards. You didn't sign off with your name, but Samantha is melting. She's lapping up all the attention. We're just 2 minutes away from wrapping it up. We have to make way for the Sunday Drive. So thank you so much for all of those joining us live on Facebook. It is Star FM, sounding good all the time. Someone did ask that they were going. We don't like to talk about work on Fly on the Wall, but you know what? It's a big part of people's everyday lives when you're in media, so we'll include it. Someone going for auditions, news auditions. And any tips from Samantha?
Okay, so you need to ask for your script. As soon as you get there, be polite, be well dressed. You need to look good. Unfortunately, TV has no way about that. You need to look good. You need to wear a nice, clean look, bold color, and you need to politely ask for your script. Go over it, familiarize with it as much as you can, so that it's part of your presentation. You're not just reading. And eventually, when you do get the job, I always say this, Iyati, when you get into a new space, into a new job, be able to learn, be humble, learn as much as you can. Know that from everyone in that space you have something that you can learn, and be humble, and just enjoy your job, enjoy everything about it. So that's pretty much what.
Fantastic. Samantha Rusare, news anchor on ZTN. It's been such a pleasure hanging out with you. You bring so much joy.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you too.
And particularly because you're in this state where you're expecting you're just much more cuddlier. Hugs and kisses. Let's do the pictures now. We have to step out, make way for the Sunday Drive. It's a wrap on Fly on the Wall. We're back next week. You don't want to miss it. The name is Iyati.